was more than just not being able to hear anything or make contact with anyone. It was as though for a time I didn't exist, as though I had no place in the world, no part of the life around me.
Basically, about a year and a half ago, I had found Tony Bumgardner on Facebook, and I seen that he was into local filmmaking. That spiked my interest because I've always wanted to make a paranormal documentary to enlighten people more on the history than the fact that a building is haunted.
Well, I was involved with a production company a couple years back, shooting an independent short film, Terrorizer, and Steve Strugan, one of the DPs, camera guys for the company that I was doing it through, had mentioned that there was a place in Mt Vernon that would be perfect to shoot my film. And at first I was kind of reluctant to come out and check it out, just because it's a 45-minute drive, an hour drive, and I knew I could probably find a place in Columbus. And he was like, "No, you got to come check this out. It's really cool." It's he talked me into it. And later on that evening, I had taken the footage home, and I was reviewing the footage, and I had caught what it appeared to be 3 apparitions crossing the doorway. I really couldn't explain what it was. I've never seen anything like that before. But Steve was standing in front of me, and I had to put the night vision on my camcorder so that we could actually see where we were walking, because it was extremely pitch black dark. You couldn't see anything. There was no light. And as I was talking to him, I had taken the camera and I moved it away like this, and I didn't realize that's when I caught the apparitions on tape. Like I said, once again, I couldn't. To this day, I still can't explain what it is.
I've been doing this actually since I was a teenager. It's kind of funny because I used to get grounded for sneaking out to go on ghost hunts. I've always had that much of a passion for it. I don't care what I had to do to get it done. The people that really, really inspire me, I would say, would be Shannon Sylvia from Ghost Hunters International, Barry Fitzgerald. The Booth brothers do an amazing presentation of history along with evidence. And Keith Age, he's just awesome because he's your laid-back country guy, and they're really good people to work with. I like them.
I got into the paranormal investigating from my fiancée Hillary. I didn't really know much about it at the time. I had a little bit of an interest, but one thing that really kind of got me going is she explained to me my dead grandma, which she never met. And right then and there, I kind of knew that maybe this stuff's for real. Since I've been into investigating with her, I've gotten more into the instruments involved and detecting any kind of paranormal activity. And I would say I'm pretty much influenced by the Booth brothers because I feel they capture raw emotion.
I'm a spectral photographer. I've been doing this for about 13 years. When I was a little kid, we started noticing pictures around Grandma's house would have extras. A flash of light, maybe a shaking looking person in the background, just weird little anomalies. So when I got a little bit older, I started taking pictures in graveyards, abandoned train places, things like that. Started getting some pretty good photos. Over the years, I've gotten some pretty fantastic pictures. Pillars of swirling ectoplasm, certain things I call fairy lights, which aren't quite a spirit-looking photo, but just abnormal lights that weren't there. I've gotten people, faint people in the background. I've gotten whiffs of smoke, multicolored smoke. I had one happen, I got one of these whiffs of smoke in Rapid City, South Dakota. And immediately after I took this picture, my batteries were drained. I came out a few weeks ago with them. I really only got one picture, but it's pretty good. I used an EMF reader to just know when to take a picture. And the thing bugged out. It went crazy, and I got some of these fairy lights. I'm hoping I can get some of these spirit wisps, these ectoplasmic wisps.
They were looking through the photos, him and his girlfriend Stephanie, and Stephanie had pointed out that she saw this little light right here in this window. Do you guys see this little light?
Yeah.
This window right here? That caught her eye, so she told Gabe to zoom in on that. And when she did, this is what they found. Did you see it?
Yeah, I do see it.
I work at the public library and I work on local history. I collect snippets of local history, and in my collecting I have gathered information and obituaries about people who died here. And the obituaries caught my attention, and I felt some of those people needed to be brought to the forefront, so to speak. So I started researching and collecting even more history about the infirmary. The infirmary started in 1840. It was about 35 years after the county was established. The people of this county and the city decided they needed someone to, some place for poor people, or as it later became, people who had some sort of a mental disability or an addiction of some sort. As I continued my study, I became more interested in the poor people because of their stories, their the fact that many of them were sad stories, and many of them will be forgotten stories if some of us don't remember. It's not like they have families that are left that will remember them. So I felt that was something I needed to do. There was possibly some operations done here, medical operations that are questionable, but I haven't researched those enough to discuss them fully. But I think in one of the obituaries it said that the staff liked the lady so well that they were very sad when she left, and that indicates they must have been nice to her too. Well, there's possibly 3 cemeteries. There's one it's not really identified that could be possibly across the down by the railroad track, and then there's supposed to be one next to the infirmary. They took all the markers down according to local legend. I'm talking local legend here, so people who lived in the neighborhood remember white crosses, and those came down so that they could mow the lawn. Those would be the older graves. And then there's a cemetery down the road a bit. It's a fenced-in cemetery. These are people who died in the 40s and the 50s. And they had also white crosses. They also had metal plates put in the ground. Many of them somehow had hand-engraved names on them, sometimes dates. And those are pretty much lost now. So the cemetery is just an open area. It's fenced in, but it's just a flat area. Many of the graves are sinking, so there are irregularities. But it's a place that I think maybe people need to come and visit and leave a few flowers from time to time.
We have lived on the 18th green on Chapel Hill Golf Course since 1999. we built our house, and I know our house is on the original property of the poorhouse, and when we were building our house, there was a road going through the front of our yard. We found bricks from it, from the old road. And we also live a lot away from the old cemetery, that there's supposedly 35 people buried there from the research I've done. There are no more headstones. I understand their names are recorded at the government office downtown who is buried there, but from what I've heard, they're from the poorhouse.
One day, my father and I were driving in the car. I can't even remember where we were going. I was maybe 12, 13 years old, and we took Johnstown Road as a shortcut. And as we turn around the corner, I see this huge building just standing there, empty, and it just attracted my attention. I said, "Dad, what's that?" "Oh, that's the old Bible college." "Well, is it in use anymore?" No, it's not been a college for several years now. And I just kind of forgot about it for a while, but the building and the grounds just kind of stuck in my mind for years and years and years, and it's been about 10, 15 years now since that first encounter, and it's stuck with me the whole time. When approaching my thesis, there are several resources I use to kind of gather all the information I need. I've looked at the census taken by the federal government every 10 years, and that will sometimes provide me names of individuals who are housed in the infirmary. But it's not a complete history by any means in terms of understanding who is there. The census only collects the data for who was there at that particular time. I also use newspapers. I read every single line within the historic newspapers, trying to find any reference to the infirmary, its inmates, even the superintendents and directors of the infirmary. They think I'm talking about the state tuberculosis hospital, which is now the Mt Vernon Developmental Center, and I say no. I pull up my little map and show them right here. There's a tuberculosis hospital. So one of the things I want to do is involving a little more archaeological research, trying to understand the infirmary and its grounds as a little separate society, I guess you could say. Using modern technology, we're going to bring out a magnetometer and a group of students to help me map and try to find foundations and other evidence of use within the grounds. So. Right. My grandfather even tells me stories how he, with his church group, would come out and sing and do other entertainment for the inmates. And every Sunday, from the beginning, they would bring out a preacher. A preacher was scheduled each Sunday to kind of come out and provide a service for all the inmates. You read it all the time in the papers, various picnics that took place there. Every year there was a Flowers Day put on by one of the local women's charity groups, just kind of come out and bring little gifts and snacks and treats for all the inmates. Even though it was kind of out of sight, out of mind in many ways, the community did try to find ways to care for them genuinely and make sure they had all the comforts that all the other citizens had. So
Yeah.
I field hundreds of calls a year for people wanting more information on this building and to take tours in it. I know I've hosted maybe 2 or 3 what you would call haunting tours, I guess, where they've done their investigations. And it's got to a point where I just had to shut it down. It's been so much in nature, where I just couldn't handle it all.
I would absolutely love to see this building restored. I see so many potentials for it. It could easily be turned into a larger clubhouse for the golf course here, as well as a type of hotel, I guess. Have a lot of outside golfers come to the area, stay in the area, and I think it could also serve as, in the wintertime when you don't have people golfing, you could easily turn it into more of a ballroom type of thing for local people to rent out for weddings or even school dances.
Then you also have, the building with 139 rooms. You're sure to have room for like a convention or some sort of a meeting place where a lot of companies don't like people coming into a busy place. You also have the Nazarene University, which could use hotel space for special events. And you have, if you just look from an artistic point of view, you look down over the infirmary, you see beautiful landscape, trees and forests, and Knox County in itself, just looking out over the valley, has to be an attraction for people who would want to come and stay in a hotel.
I would hate to see it torn down, definitely would hate that, just for the simple fact it's where I shot my first film. So it's got a little bit of sentimental value to it.
I'd really like to see it be renovated and restored. It's got a uniqueness about it, a feeling, a look. And when I first bought the place, that was my first intention. Unfortunately, as we investigated more and more and more, it was just in so bad condition that it just put it out of our reach.
Get so out of hand. But in the daylight, everything falls back into place again.
Yeah,
speed.
rolling video, rolling audio.
Okay. Poorhouse.
I told you I'm gonna pet him the whole time.
Did you guys even need me to say anything?
Go by and then we'll cut it.
I like that. Keep going. That's good. Oh, you gave it a thumbs up too. Look at that.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna go somewhere where there aren't creepy random noises that happen for no reason. Oh, right. I want to go up there. I have to pee, though. Kinda have to poop, too.
Building hazards, and then you say your thing. Okay. So as soon as I trip, that's going to be your go. So let's go up here. Let's.
And I'm going to say it kind of under my breath. That way the camera can hear it. But
You scared the fucking shit out of me, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Dude, that wasn't cool.
I fucking told
I saw shoes and I went, oh, that's Brandon. I'm like, what the fuck? All right.
Well, this is just a bad place to put a cabinet. I mean, how do you open this? Someone didn't think that through.
Playing with each other's dankies. Circle jerk.
Hey guys! You got a little ahead of me.
Cut. Cool.
Is that good?
That's great.